Ever get that, like, I don't know, kind of anxious feeling when you're about to post something online?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's super common. And it's actually pretty deep how it ties into like our basic human needs.
Right. Like we all want to connect and feel validated, but then social media comes in and
It kind of messes with those needs. Like the design of these platforms can make it feel like a gamble, you know?
totally. There's this article from Mynd.works by Richard, an anxiety therapist, that breaks it all down.
Oh, cool. I like that he uses real stories, by the way.
Me too. It makes it way more relatable.
Mm.
So there's this one about Emma, a graphic designer who loves to post her art on Instagram.
Okay, yeah.
She spent weeks on this amazing illustration, finally posts it, feels super proud,
Mm.
but then
Doubts start creeping in, right? Like, will people like it? Is it even good enough?
exactly. And she starts overthinking everything, like
Yeah.
obsessing over the caption, the hashtags.
That need for validation, which is totally normal, can spiral,
Yeah.
especially for people who are already prone to anxiety.
The article says it's not that this need for approval is new, but social media just amplifies it like crazy.
Because it's so instant and public, like you're performing for the whole world.
And then there's that fear of judgment.
Yeah.
It's a huge trigger for social media anxiety.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Putting yourself out there can be really scary, especially with all the negativity you see online.
Even if it's not happening to you directly, just seeing other people get trolled or cyberbullied makes you think twice about sharing anything personal.
It makes you feel like exposed. And the article makes this point about how negative comments online, they can hurt more than like a face-to-face disagreement.
It's so public and permanent, it's like sending a text to the wrong person, but times 1,000.
Ugh, I hate when that happens. And it doesn't even have to be like outright nasty comments.
Right. Even a little passive-aggressive thing or someone unfollowing you can sting.
Or just the lack of likes and comments. It can
Yeah.
make you feel invisible or like you're not good enough.
Yeah, even though we know it's just a curated version of reality, we still compare ourselves to those perfect feeds.
And that's where the pressure to keep up comes in. Social media moves so fast.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's like you blink and there's a new trend you've got to be on top of.
Exhausting. And it just feeds that comparison game even more. Like, why aren't my Y posts getting that much attention?
It's crazy how it's all tied to our brain chemistry, too. The article talks about how those likes and comments trigger a dopamine response.
It's like a reward system. You get hooked on those little bursts of validation. I think of it like those slot machines.
Oh, interesting.
You just keep pulling the lever, hoping for that hit of dopamine, even if you know the odds are against you.
So we get addicted to that feeling, but then feel bad when it's not there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tricky cycle to break. Have you ever noticed how, like, after you post something, you can't help but keep checking back, like every few minutes?
Oh, totally. I'm like glued to my phone. It's like those
Yeah.
notification badges are calling my name.
It's like they're designed to keep us hooked, right? The more we engage, the more info they get. And then,
More targeted ads. It's kind of creepy when you think about it. So how do we, like, break free from this?
well, Richard has some tips. One that seems simple, but it's powerful, is to just pause before you post.
Yeah, I remember that. It's like take a breath before hitting that share button. Seems too easy.
It is easy, but we don't do it. It's about shifting from that, like, knee-jerk reaction to being more deliberate.
So instead of just sharing every little thing, we ask, why am I posting this? What am I hoping for?
Exactly. And the article even gives you specific questions to ask, like, am I just looking for validation or is there something more to it?
And how will I feel if, like, nobody reacts the way I want?
Right. Managing your expectations.
That's
'Cause
right.
if you're only posting for those likes, you're going to be disappointed a lot.
Because that kind of validation, it doesn't last, you know?
Totally fleeting. That's why finding validation from within is so key, not relying on those external things.
That resonates with me. It's about knowing your own worth. The article calls it practicing self-validation.
Love that. And affirmations can help with that. Like, I'm proud of being authentic, or, you know, what I shared matters, even if it doesn't get a ton of attention.
It's like giving yourself a pep talk, which we all need sometimes. It's so easy to compare ourselves to others, and that's another big anxiety trigger.
Ugh, the comparison trap, it's everywhere online, and it's so dangerous. Everyone's showing their best selves, you know?
It's like everyone's highlight reel, and we forget that. Then we feel like we're not good enough.
Exactly. We got to remember, everyone's on their own path. Comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, that's just...
Setting yourself up for feeling bad.
Mhm.
So besides self-validation, what can we do about that?
Richard talks about shifting your focus. Get off the phone. Do things that make you happy in real life.
Makes sense. Spending time with people, being creative, nature. Those are the things that actually fulfill you.
Totally. Things that remind you who you are, not just your online persona. The more you do that, the less you need social media to feel good.
It's like taking a break from all that input. Sometimes you just need to step away completely.
Digital detoxes. I'm a big fan. Even a couple of days can make a huge difference. Fresh perspective.
I like how the article just says, it's just a post. Seems obvious, but it's easy to forget.
Right. One post, no matter how many likes it gets, it doesn't define you. It's such a small part of your whole life.
It's freeing to think about that.
Yeah.
So we've talked about pausing, self-validation, not comparing, shifting focus, and remembering it's just a post. What else?
Mindfulness is a big one.
That's a buzzword these days. What does it even mean online, though?
Basically, it's being aware of how you're feeling when you're on these platforms, noticing when you're getting anxious or stressed.
So instead of mindlessly scrolling, you're more present.
Yeah. Even little things help, like the article suggests breathing exercises.
Oh, interesting.
Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Just doing that a few times can calm you down.
Like a reset button.
Totally. The more you practice, the better you get at managing those tricky feelings. You're in control.
So we've covered a lot, but it's important to remember this is just a starting point.
Right. And the article says if this is really impacting your life, talk to someone, a professional.
That's so true. Sometimes you need more than tips.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's really taking over, don't hesitate to get help.
There's no shame in that. And the article mentions this organization, Mynd.works.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them. They help people have a healthier relationship with social media.
Exactly. They get it.
Yeah.
It's not just about, like, get off your phone. They have
Yeah.
real strategies.
And support. It's important to remember you're not alone in this.
One more thing that stuck with me from the article.
Yeah.
It says that social media, even with all the downsides, it can be good for connection.
Right. It's not all out bad. It's about finding that balance,
Yeah.
where you can connect authentically, share things, build community.
But without letting it control you.
Exactly. And that's not always easy. It takes effort.
It's a journey, right?
Totally. Be patient with yourself. Try different things. Celebrate the little wins.
Like anything else, moderation is key.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And just remember, your worth, it comes from you, not from likes or followers.
Such a good reminder. Well, that's about it for our deep dive into social media anxiety.
We hope this gave you some good insights. And remember, you've got this.
There's help out there if you need it, and you're more than just your online self. Thanks for listening.